Okay, I think we are back up. I think we're back up. Yeah? Are we good? Are we good? Okay, we're back on. I think we're live. Yes, we had a little technical difficulty. Hey, I was just about to say how excited I was. It was episode 4, and I felt like I've been doing it for a month. And yeah, we had our first major technical hiccup, which is always fun. That happens when you got a lot of bells and whistles going on. My camera decided to go to sleep, so I got to figure out how that and make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah? Okay, so how are we doing today? How you guys doing? What are we here for? What's GECKO Radio for? We try to, keep you in the loop with what's going on around Jeju, local news, upcoming events, cool places to check out. What are we aim? Who's our listener base? It's you guys. It's those waking up in the morning, getting ready to go to school at one of the big 4 schools here. But it doesn't have to be the GEC. It can be anywhere around the island. It could be the mothers getting their kids out of bed. Again, I said that one of the mothers actually uses me as an alarm to help wake their kid up, which is cool because that's what I used to do. I used to listen to radio to wake me up in the morning instead of those crazy, insane clock alarms. Yeah. Who am I? I am Mark Wilson Che. I'm your DJ, writer, editor. I'm your guy. I'm the dude. We also have our head writer, JY Choi at Jeju Jade. She check her out. She put up a really awesome video about her encountering some dolphins, which is amazing, and we talked about it yesterday. So yeah, do check it out. It's really taken off, that dolphin video. We were like, come on, man, like just one dolphin vid, and the funny thing is every time she tries to take her GoPro, they just didn't show up, or they were just messing with her or too far away. So she finally has an amazing video of dolphins up there. So do check it out. Okay, so why don't we get into weather? Let's get into weather. Yeah, looking a bit drab out there. Daejeong is starting off on the chilly side this morning, but it should turn into a mostly sunny and pleasant spring day. Okay, really? Okay, we'll see. I mean, it's wet, it's damp, it's been kind of drizzling and raining all night, but according to the script, it's gonna clear up and get better. So we'll see. Yeah. Temperatures are expected to rise from around 9 degrees Celsius. That's what it feels like right now for sure, in the early morning, to about 18 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. So it will feel nice during the day, but still cool again after sunset. The sky should stay fairly bright through the afternoon. Okay. Before more clouds move in toward the evening. So I guess we will see some parting of the clouds and some sun today. Okay, so quick notes around Jeju, however. Jeju City is rainy in the morning, turning to cloudy later, around 11 to 14 degrees Celsius. Ooh, that is chilly. That's chilly. So that's up in Jeju City. Sogyepo City has showers early, then mostly cloudy skies, around 12 to 15 degrees Celsius. Also chilly. It's going to be a chilly, it's been a chilly couple days, and that's going to continue on. The East Coast around Seungsan looks milder. Okay, partly sunny to cloudy, reaching up to about 23 degrees Celsius around midday. And ultrafine dust is not too bad across Jeju City today, mostly in the good to moderate range. Okay, it's still spring, so people who are sensitive to fine dust may want to keep an eye on that. Don't literally keep your eye on the dust, because that defeats the purpose. But overall, air quality is manageable for outdoor activities. I do. I hung out with some of my students yesterday, and they're actually quite sensitive to pollen. And pollen's kind of a thing right now, for sure. It's in the spring, but I guess for the past couple days, pollen has been kind of an issue too. So if you are sensitive to the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees, be careful out there. I definitely, on your car, you can just see it's not misemanji. It's actually just the yellow powder. So for sure. So watch out for pollen as well. Okay. So before we get into our first song of the day, why don't we ask the question of the day? Okay. What is the busiest domestic flight route in Korea and one of the busiest in the world? Okay. What is the busiest domestic flight route in Korea and one of the busiest in the world? Why don't we start things off with Parasol Waves, Wind and Wave. For that Jeju morning alternative, tune in to GECKO Radio, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. All week, baby. All right. Thank you to Haley Kim, who took a guess. They are our thank you so much, guys. Really, really. And please, yeah, answer the trivia, guys. We'll ask you some more questions, and we want to get super interactive here in the chat. So say hello, say good morning, tell us how your morning is going. Hey guys, how cool is that? Music video. How cool is that? Isn't that sweet? Yeah. It's I'm making it more complicated for me, but I think it's kind of awesome that I can just put up music videos, right? Right? That's so sweet. I don't know. It's starting to remind me of like MTV from the 90s, you know? Back when it was good. No, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get in trouble. But yes, when they actually used to play music videos. So we might keep doing that. Keep putting up music videos in line with the other tracks that we're playing. Once again, we're playing local music. A lot of it Jeju based, but also a lot of it Busan based as well. I mean, just anywhere around Jeju, or anywhere around Korea as well. And it probably won't be K-pop. Nothing against K-pop, but because the licensing and copyright and stuff, we actually have permission from these artists, and it's also a cool alternative, hence Jeju morning alternative, right? That is GECKO Radio. My dog Neela is excited in the background for all the artists. That's why she's barking. So thank you, Neela, for that. Okay, so the question of the day was, what is the busiest domestic flight route in Korea and one of the busiest in the world? It is, and we have Haley Kim. Diggy. All right, she wrote GMP-CJU. That is correct. That stands for Gimpo to Jeju, or Jeju to Gimpo International. That is correct. Okay, now, I don't think this comes to a surprise to a lot of people, but you might be shocked at still how many people really don't know that, right? That it is considered one of the busiest, if not the busiest in the world. I know it held that title for several years, so we have to look that up if that is still now the busiest route in the world, which is pretty insane, right? Yeah, for sure. And this is not just busy by Korean standards. The Jeju Gimpo route is often ranked among the busiest air routes in the world because it connects Seoul, the country's capital region, with Jeju, Korea's largest island and one of the biggest tourist destinations. But for Jeju residents, this route is more than just a vacation route. It's more like a lifeline. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you actually live in Jeju, it feels like taking the bus. You know what I mean? If you do business trips, I've done it where I remember the first time that you wake up in the morning, take a flight to Seoul, and then you take the flight back and you're back for dinner. It kind of feels kind of crazy the first couple of times you do it, but then you get pretty used to it. Jungyoon, with her kind of work, she does that a lot. Yeah. It's really just a lifeline. People use it for work, school, hospital visits. I know a lot of the fathers or a lot of the family members, they have to travel back and forth. Maybe they work on the mainland, they'll come back for the weekends, or vice versa, right? Or just kids also traveling a lot. Family members and of course travel, right? So when there are fewer seats available, or when ticket prices go up, it affects not just tourists, but also everyday life for people living on the island. And if you live in Jeju, you also develop a very specific relationship with Jeju Airport. You start checking the wind, you check the fog, you check the delay notices, and sometimes even after boarding, you're sitting there on the tarmac still thinking, please take off. I have a personal anecdote here. I had a friend, a close friend of mine. He is actually also one of my adult students, and he asked me to do like a short stint of intense English teaching because he was up for an English interview. He works already for a prominent major network broadcast station in Korea, but this opportunity would allow him to live in the States for a couple years as residency and get his master's. So it all came down to this English interview he was going to have in Uede, up in the mainland, up in Seoul. So we for 7 days straight, we intensely like studied together one on one, and we're doing this mock interview. And then the day comes for him to fly up to Seoul. And this is life changing, right? Because when he goes over to the States, he's bringing his family. His family's going to be living in the States, going to school in the States for like 1-2 years, 1-ish, 2-ish years. And so, he was going to fly up that morning and then take the interview. So this is life changing, right? And then I woke up and immediately I was horrified because the weather was abysmal. It was so bad. It was so rainy and windy, like from here, from my house. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was just like, I didn't want to send him any messages because I didn't want to like just annoy him or anything. But I mean, I was just like, come on, please, please. And he told me that, yeah, he was on the tarmac. I think it may have gotten delayed a little bit. He was up in the air, okay, and then they flew around and then they landed back down. And then he flew up again and so landed back down into Jeju Airport. So, oh, bro, can you imagine what's going through his head? And then finally, it did take off and take him to Gimpo. But he was like really one of the only few planes to make it to Gimpo, and he made it to his interview on time. And he was also one of the very few planes to make it back that night too. So if you're listening, buddy, really, great job, great job. Oh, yes, he passed the interview. He got it. He got in. So he sent me a message. He's like, hey man, thank you so much. Like we read it. My wife cried, and I was like super emotional too because I knew how important this was for him. So good job. I'm just so happy that that he made it. Yes. So there you go. That's just our little tidbits about Jeju flights and Jeju airports. But if you're a Jeju person, you already know the drill. You know how it goes. But if we start getting some listeners who aren't too familiar with how Jeju works, hopefully they learn a little something. Okay, so why don't we move on? We're gonna do the next song here. Why don't we do Matthew Smith, Back to Me? We're back and it's time for Jeju News Briefing. Something's coming. What if I just talked like that? From like, what is that transatlantic like 1930s? Like something's come up and we'll focus solely on what's today. Yeah, okay, I won't do that. Okay, but I just thought I always I always thought that kind of transatlantic accent from the 1930s to the 50s was always fun. Was always fun to listen to. My parents are quite old. They're in their 80s right now, so I kind of grew up with that kind of stuff, So, anyways, yes, let's get into Jeju News Briefing. Okay. Oh, we're still talking airlines and stuff today. So here we go. That's our theme for today. Flying and airlines. Okay, so this is the proper news here. Jeju is seeing a growing shortage of airline seats. As both international oil prices and changes in airline operations are affecting domestic routes. Okay, that totally makes sense. And that is a bummer for everybody. Okay, low-cost carriers, or LCCs, are reducing flights not only on international routes, but also on domestic routes or routes to and from Jeju due to a sharp rise in jet fuel prices linked to tension in the Middle East. Okay, between April and May, LCCs are expected to cancel a total of 616 flights on 8 Jeju routes. Okay, including the busy Jeju Gimpo route. This breaks down to 324 flights in April. Oh, wow. Okay, so actually, this is legitimate, important news, guys, so please listen, okay? I'm going to say that again. Between April and May, LCCs are expected to cancel a total of 616 flights on 8 Jeju routes, including the busy Jeju Gimpo route. This breaks down to only 324 flights in April and 292 flights in May. Based on a typical 180-seat aircraft, that means roughly 110,000 fewer seats over the 2-month period. Okay, all right, that's super important. So I hope you remember this. Okay, my thoughts and prayers goes out to those who travel frequently, but it's about to get tough from this month into May. Ooh, okay, good luck, guys. On top of that, the merger between Korean Air and Asiana Airlines also affected Jeju's domestic flight capacity. Okay. Since the summer flight schedule began on March 29th, the number of domestic seats supplied to Jeju has dropped by about 1,009 seats per day, or 2.38% compared to last year. With fewer seats available and more demand from school trips, holiday travelers, and local residents who need to fly to Seoul or other cities for work or medical appointments, booking flights to and from Jeju has become noticeably more difficult. Guys, in the chat, go ahead and mention if you guys are feeling those tensions already, if it's affecting you already. Okay, so please tell us your thoughts in the chat. Okay. Tourism officials say they have asked the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transport and the Fair Trade Commission to come up with measures, as the reduced seat supply is creating difficulties for both Jeju's tourism industry and local residents. They also suggested that major airlines, including Korean Air, may need to add temporary flights on Jeju routes during peak travel seasons. That is so true. All of you business owners out here, right? We really rely on the surge of spring and summer and fall. So these flights are just not they're literally not happening, right? They're not figuratively not happening. They're literally not happening. 110,000 seats less. It's going to affect us, right? It's going to affect us, the business owners. So let's hope that they can put in some measures to help us out here. And one travel tip before we go: if you plan to fly soon, it may be better to book your ticket before May 1st. Before May 1st. It may be better to book your ticket before May 1st because of the fuel surcharge that is set to rise starting May 1st. Okay, so if you are going to book a ticket, my gosh, do it now. Do it now. It's April 30th. Okay, okay, I need to calm down because I'm getting too intense. Okay, just if you're going to, that's not who we are. This is not who we are. We're not trying to do scare tactics here. If you are trying to fly, please book a ticket before May 1st. Okay, but you do only have a couple days left. The surcharge is usually applied based on ticketing date, not the travel date. So booking earlier could help you avoid the higher charge. Okay, so starting May 1st, surcharge is set to rise. So please remember that. In other Jeju travel news, the island is expecting a busy Children's Day holiday period. Okay, according to the Jeju Tourism Association, or the JTO, around 267,000 visitors are expected to come to Jeju over the 6-day holiday from April 30th to May 5th. But that does kind of like go over the craziness that's happening using both flights and ferries. That's a 2.7% increase compared to last year's Children's Day holiday period, when about 260,066 people visited Jeju. That's not about, that's very specific number. By date, the busiest day is expected to be May 1st, with around 53,000 visitors arriving. Around 44,000 are expected on April 30th, 46,000 on May 12th, 48,000 on May 3rd, and around 38,000 each on May 4th and 5th. So it seems like on May 1st, huge surge. Then it's gonna slowly go down from May 1st. Domestic flights arriving in Jeju are expected to total 1,313 flights, slightly up from last year, but interestingly, the number of available seats and domestic flights is actually expected to be down by about 1% at around 245,000 seats. International flights, on the other hand, are showing a bigger increase. Okay, there will be 195 international flights during the holiday, up more than 18% from last year, with about 35,800 seats available. The Jeju Tourism Association expects the average boarding rate on domestic flights to be very high, around 94.4%. So Jeju Airport is likely to feel quite crowded during the holiday. Also, 7 cruise ships are scheduled to arrive around the same period, bringing around 17,200 passengers. So I mean, this is looking okay, right? We just said how flights are going to affect everything, so we'll see how these numbers will. Yeah, it's going to be very telling to see if these numbers. These are all predicted numbers. We'll see if the actual numbers match up when we just talked about the April-May oil issue when it came to flights. Officials say the exact number may change depending on weather conditions and same-day reservations, but overall, it looks like Jeju is heading into a very busy Children's Day holiday. Now we'll take a break, and when we come back, let's go over what's happening in the GEC schools and learn a new Jeju word, the word in the Jeju language. Okay, so why don't we move on to our next song? This is Iced Americano Forever by Circa featuring Lil Cherry and Jungle.
Meet me more. You are listening to GECKO Radio in the morning.
All right, we are back. I was just told by my writer that my camera is a bit off, but it's like a little bit off. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of matched up in my screen. I guess it's okay. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm kind of moving stuff around right now. Let me just move this camera here. I don't know. It's snapping up. I guess we'll just leave it at that. I think it's okay. I guess it's working. As long as you see my face, even if it's not center, we'll work with it. We'll work with it. Yeah, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing today? We have let's see. Oh, she's talking about this image here. This one? Okay. That image here. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, that was a bit. Okay. Writer Jung-yoon, I have 5 monitors in front of me, so please let me know which monitor we're talking about here. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So we do have a comment here. I was asking you guys, so hey, do you have any crazy flight stories to and from Jeju? And we have one here. Haley Kim says, we paid 210,000 won from Jeju to Gimpo, and it was a one-way ticket, and it was T-way. Wow. 221 man, 210,000 Korean won for a one-way T-way ticket. So that is telling. That is telling. You know what I mean? Let's just hope things get figured out and that that these numbers can go down. Really, let's just hope. Good luck everybody who has business trips. Good luck everybody who run businesses who rely on tourism. We will be here. If there's any major new updates in this kind of area, we'll be happy to let you guys know. Okay. All right. So let's move on. We're going to go down to the GEC to figure out what is going down in the GEC schools. Hey, hope the SJ students are doing okay with their MAP test. I believe today is the last series of these tests with language tests. Okay, so good luck, guys. MAP tests. We were told earlier in the week that they are really no joke. I've seen the report cards, these progress reports. Good luck, everybody, if you're doing MAP tests. Let us know about the other schools as well. KIS. We talked about how they have the SATs coming up this Saturday. BHA, how are they doing? Do we know when their MAP tests are going down? And I wonder about NLCS as well. I'm just curious about when they line up and everything. Yesterday, we shared the news that construction began on Fulton Science Academy Atherton, or FSAA, which is set to open in August 2028. That's right. Construction officially underwent on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, and it's going to open up a couple summers from now, August 2028. It will be, just a refresher here, FSAA will be the first global campus of Fulton Science Academy Private School, a well-known private school based in Atlanta, Georgia. I think it's ranked number 1 private school in Georgia. It is a STEM school, so that's science, technology, engineering, and math. So that is a proper tech school. And I guess apparently like their enrollment rate is also pretty high too. So very interesting. Speaking of tests, there we go. We talked about the SAT test taking place in KIS campus this Saturday, May 2nd. So best of luck to all of the test takers. Really, good luck, you guys. Yeah, just good luck. Let's hope you get where you want to go. Okay. So let's move on to the Jeju word of the day. Okay, so today's Jeju word is 놀망 쉬망. 놀망 쉬망. Okay, it means playing and resting, or more naturally, take it easy and enjoy yourself. Today's Jeju word is 놀망 쉬망 because it means playing and resting, or simply take it easy, enjoy yourself. It's a perfect phrase for a Jeju holiday. Don't rush too much. Don't overpack your itinerary. Just enjoy the island. 놀망 쉬망. Okay. Yes, hanging out with the Henya, because Jung Yoon, my wife and writer, she is Henya. The Henya are just, of course, they're obviously curious bit with, how we're doing and what my life is up to. They're always curious, like what I do, because I typically work in the late afternoon to the night, because I work with a lot of English students after school. So they're always just wondering, like, how am I so available to help them out in the morning? So they're just curious what I do. And then they always just tell me stuff like this, like 놀망 쉬망, like, just take it easy, don't push yourself too hard, enjoy life. I'm like, bro, you're Henya, like, don't tell me to enjoy, like, you guys need to rest and take it easy. And also they just, like, really lived an intense life as well. So it's so interesting to see these lovely but also tough women tell me to take it easy, who is much younger. I'm like a child to them, so they're just like, hey, don't push yourself too hard. So it's sweet, but it's also kind of funny. Okay, so why don't we move on, okay, to our next song. Okay, this will be 보스랑 Cooler, Sand.